Welcome to the World Series. It's in a centralized location, but it doesn't make it any less intense. Despite the situation, there will be fans allowed to see the festivities in Arlington. It's been a weird ride with 16 teams. But what ended up happening during this postseason? There were expectations that they would be getting their asses kicked. They did. Although I expected more of a fight from them against the Rays. Maybe to not see Hyunjin Ryu get chased out of a game within 2 innings? Maybe to see the young hitting core hit something? This was a learning experience year and it showed. Now they hopefully know what needs to be done. Get back up and get back here next season. Nothing more to say. Why am I somehow not shocked at this outcome? The Indians choking in the postseason. What an October to remember for them. 74 minutes of it in total. Shane Bieber going from Cy Young contender to being obliterated by the Yankee bomb. I once felt bad for mispronouncing James Karinchak's name. That was before he gave up a back-breaking grand slam to Urshela. All that's left is to see Brad Hand go back to last year's form and falter during a save opportunity. This was your chance to prove the narratives wrong and you only reinforce them. Now ownership gets to be cheap again and sell off more pieces of the former core for varying returns. Lindor may have had his final performance here with a dud and it's your own fault for it. To think I had some semblance of optimism about this team's chances for once. I think I was a little too nice to you in my faux campaign ad. I need to make one more tweak to your logo. There is no winning here. Not from what I saw out of them against the Astros. This isn't just an absent Josh Donaldson, this is team-wide failure. And when the bats go flat, Rocco Baldelli socially distances himself from managing. It's the perfect recipe for 18 consecutive postseason losses. For those keeping track at home, that's a new record in North American sports. You had a golden opportunity to dunk on the biggest cheaters in baseball's recent memory, yet you not only faltered, you did so miserably. Bud Selig had the right idea in the early 2000s. Abolish the Twins. Abolish them now. Somebody had to let the Oakland A's win a postseason series. Shame it had to be you. Hell, you'd think they'd win with that gem of a pitching performance that Lucas Giolito put on in Game 1, but then you get to Rick Renteria. Renteria had a rather deadly case of overmanagitis in Game 3. Dunning couldn't get it done, so the goal is obviously to burn through every decent option on full rest by the 5th inning. Even Carlos Rodon, who couldn't get many whiffs in a postseason full of them. I had a sneaking suspicion of it last year and now I can confirm it. Rick Renteria is holding this team back. The team is young, there is hope for the future, but they will need a new manager before they will reach their full potential. The White Sox finally realized this and chose to sack him while the iron was hot. It was for the best. Good luck, Chicago. The future is yours if you make the right moves. This series was going to be near impossible to begin with, but that was before Devin Williams and Corbin Burns were off the roster to injuries. Get out, Brewers. Stop pretending you had any right to be here and get the hell out. To think we could have had the Giants instead of them. At least that series may have been interesting. They were a good story. Having to deal with a gauntlet of doubleheaders to sneak into a playoff spot in the end, it's a shame they weren't really that good. They had a chance to win. The Padres were without Lamet and Clevenger in this series, and they still couldn't get it done. It was only a matter of time before Slam Diego woke up, and they did. Game 3 was more asinine, to be honest. They were up against gas can Stammen to start, and they still couldn't get anything done. Death by bullpen. It honestly felt like the National Series last year. They just died. Very slowly. And very painfully. Welcome to mediocrity, Cardinals. You get all the vain attempts at being competitive without any of the rewards of championship glory. Enjoy your stay. The Cubs may blame inept hitting from nearly every regular on the roster for this loss, but I implore you to embrace the memes. They were playing Miami. They may have serious flaws in their roster, but they haven't lost a postseason series yet. And unlike the Reds, you did score a run. Yeah, who the hell am I kidding? You fucking sucked. They hit like pitchers against a team that wasn't exactly known for elite pitching. With their approach, you'd think they were facing Pedro Martinez and Sandy Koufax in their primes. Just putrid. You got your title and apparently it'll be another 100 years before you win again. Chicago, I think it's time to dismantle the core. It'll suck, but they aren't getting it done these days. Not with shit like this. Knowing the Cubs, I can't wait for them to double down as a result.
As you sit here now, Will, what are your feelings going back to the club?
Better. More good and more better. I like this team much more than I like those teams, and I really like those teams. But I think we're a nightmare, and I think everybody knows that. I can't wait.
Do you remember what an old wise man said back in the day? Money can't buy championships. In this case, it can't even give you the chance to even compete for them. The problem now for the gold-plated pinstripes is a lack of quality starting pitching. I know, redundant with all the money they've thrown around, but when it's merely the Garrett Cole show, that's not good. Aaron Boone and the meddling executive branch aren't helping whatsoever. Pulled Davy Garcia after 1 inning. Brilliant when the antidote is J fucking Happ. As for the hitting core, can't find any notes on them. I couldn't find them at all. Ironic, isn't it? The final piece to this puzzle is a revenge match. 1 month ago, Aroldis Chapman failed to assassinate Mike Brasso with a fastball to the head. In Game 5, Brasso returned the favor by means of a series-clinching home run. Congratulations, Yankees, you successfully lost to a team with roughly 1/10 your budget. Take it away, Big Papi.
The Yankees lose.
This is why I never take the Athletics seriously when the time comes for serious performances. Because they'll always come up short. And not even a smidgen short, they'll just get mopped up by legitimate groups. The Astros were the chance for them to make a statement. And they did. Just another testament to Moneyball not having enough to get to the promised land. Again. They didn't just miss Matt Chapman, but the starting pitching was atrocious. Nobody went deep except opposing hitters, victimized by the long ball. If Oakland could hit with runners in scoring position as well, that would be fantastic. In a near-yearly occurrence, the A's keep chasing after that rainbow and can never succeed. They won a series again, but it's hollow. Billy Beane is leaving the organization. He desires a new challenge, preferably one where he gets a real budget to work with. A dark day for small market baseball. Pain isn't just routine here. It's almost comfortable for them. The big test was going to be facing the Dodgers in the NLDS, and they failed it with flying colors. Despite the promise and talent, they proved they just weren't ready for the big time just yet. I mean, they tried, but without Lamet and Clevenger only pitching for 1 inning, it was an impossible task. The Dodgers' playoff experience did the rest. Hurricane season has been ugly this year, and this series could have been considered as one due to the wreckage they left for the Padres. San Diego, I know it's been a while, but you must deal with one of the most hated things in your city. Being overcome by the relentless Los Angeles menace. It's going to be here for a while, so don't think it's just going to vanish in the blink of an eye. The future looks good, but they'll always be there to pick on little brother. Maybe you'll overcome it someday. Someday. The end finally occurred for a legendary meme. The Miami Marlins, for the first time in franchise history, have lost a playoff series. Don't give me this, they were completely outmatched by the Braves. Shit, allow me to wallow in self-pity. When they weren't beating Ronald Acuna, they were just getting wrecked by their legions of hitters. They just weren't ready for a real push. Not to say that it was a bad run. They're intriguing for the future. If the NL East can keep self-destructing and the Marlins continue to develop their young prospects, maybe there's another chance they'll have another deep run in the future. They have some pieces. I know they were going to lose eventually, but it's still sad. They were the Carolina Hurricanes on steroids. Now they're just a team. God damn it. There's a lot of talk about the Yankees and Dodgers wanting Houston's head for past transgressions, but we tend to forget there was another team that desired revenge. Tampa Bay. For last year's ALDS and the allegations of Glasnow tipping pitches, the Astros would fall quickly out of the gate. It was almost as if the gods were deliberately punishing them for their hubris. Make them lose 3 straight with endless bullshit robbing them of Game 3. But that isn't fun. They have to give them endless hope by having Tampa Bay completely crumble for the next 3 games. The choking memes and hatred from baseball fans were fueling them. A chance at burning everything down is at hand. But then the gods pull the plug. The Astros fall just short of the goal. An agonizing defeat for an agonizing season. The sad thing is that I would have rooted for them if it weren't for... But they had a damn good run for what it was worth. I fucking hate them, but they'll be back. As long as they can lock up Springer, that is. You can't escape your fate, Braves. You can't avoid it coming. You can talk to us about how things are different, how you have a 2-0 and 3-1 series lead. It doesn't matter. You are a team from Atlanta. You will choke. You will do so with pride. You'll enjoy it all with a combination of robbing hits and some of the most embarrassing base-running gaffes this side of the Three Stooges. Perhaps next time you should do more to acquire quality starting pitching instead of standing pat at the deadline. You needed another arm. You needed Soroka or a trade asset. Like all your hitters the entire series, you should have tried swinging for the fences. Maybe then you could have put the dagger in their throats instead of reinforced stereotypes. And the most beautiful thing about it all, allegedly when teams had a 2-0 lead in a championship series, what was their record before this series? Oh yes, 28-3. It was written in the stars. Yes, you will be back here again, but you cannot escape the relentless Atlanta stereotype. Embrace it.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Even for the bubble, the postseason is still a test on the blood pressure. I have no stake in this, but you still feel it. Coming from the American League this year, I was really damn close to ripping your heads off in a video. Nearly blowing a 3-0 series lead and potentially joining the 2004 Yankees in eternal failure? It would have been completely unforgivable regardless of opponent. Yet despite their flaws, despite seemingly running out of gas, they got it done. This has been the motto of the Rays this season. No matter what, just get it done. It doesn't matter that they don't have a true star on the team. It doesn't matter that they have one of the lowest player payrolls in the bigs. They will get it done. Tampa Bay doesn't have a particular strength, but they don't lack in any particular category. It feels like Thanos is their spirit animal. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. They may not have the most potent hitters in the world, but they make up for it in every other category. Willie Adames and his slick defense at shortstop. Joey Wendell manning the third base side with a little bit of the stick. Brandon Lau, despite a postseason slump, is still one of their best overall hitters. Ji-Man Choi, what the hell isn't there to say about him? He is a legend. A man of both the dinger and the glove. The perfect first baseman for this team. Mike Zunino, the former Mariner, behind the plate with his power bat. The outfield flanked by Austin Meadows, having a down year but still a threat at the plate. In center field, Kevin Kiermaier, the defensive wizard. A literal spiderweb for balls in the outfield. There's also Manny Margot, the man who's shown flashes of brilliance in all aspects of play, coming in clutch several times during this run. And then there's the star of the show this postseason. A man who literally came out of nowhere to shine for the Rays. Randy Arozarena. To think the guy had to fight and claw for a regular spot in the lineup has been the major catalyst of the offense. He's been launching bombs. Literal nuclear explosions into the empty stands of Petco. One of the best rookie performances in Major League postseason history. And who could forget Mike Brasso, the man who kept the Aroldis memes alive. The man who saved us from Yankee smugness. Praise them in their glory. They may be the catalyst, but the pitching is the main key to success. The weapons in the rotation aren't known nationally, but are potent. Blake Snell, Brown Chuck, Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Yarbrough. An elite bullpen led by Nick Anderson, Peter Fairbanks, Diego Castillo, Josh Fleming, John Curtis, Ryan Thompson, Aaron Loop. They are unknowns in the national scene, but they are damn effective pitchers. They will deceive you with the off-speed and blaze by with the fastball. That is the key for Tampa. Pitching and defense. With the shoestring budget, they focused in on grossly underappreciated assets in the trade market. Look at their roster, and a good chunk of it has been acquired from other franchises. Nick Anderson from Miami, Ji-Man Choi from Milwaukee, Manny Margot and Hunter Renfroe from the Padres. Wendell was once an Oakland A. Arozarena was a Cardinal before this season. Fairbanks was a Ranger. Thompson, a Rule 5 pick from Houston. John Curtis was cut by Philly before he landed here. Willie Adames was acquired from Detroit in the David Price trade. Glasnow and Meadows we aren't going to talk about. Most of the rest are homegrown talents. Their only dips into free agency are rare but effective. Charlie Morton was the main piece. Yoshitomo Tsutsugo was another. Even for his struggles, is still a quality power bat. I don't get a lot of their moves, but they obviously work, which is why I've stopped questioning their methods. They know what they're doing. To me, this is a symbolic run. They are the last stand of the small market baseball team. Proof that even teams run on low budgets can compete with the big boys if they're smart about it. Stuart Sternberg may be a cheap ass, they may have a terrible stadium, and they keep flirting with rolling half-seas with Montreal. But on the field, they are a quality product. I just wish they had a better owner to work with. Sternberg, for being as cheap as he is, has the potential of joining an illustrious list of piece-of-shit owners to win a World Series. David Glass, Jeffrey Loria, Marge Schott, Wayne Wizenga, and many others don this hat. And Team A too if the cards play out right. They're a well-oiled machine, but who will they be facing for the main prize? Good. I was worried you were going to blow it there for a moment. There's too much talent and skill throughout the lineup to justify such failure. Last year we know all about. Enough about that, however. This is a new year, and the Dodgers are eager to finally bring back a winner to LA after over 30 years in the wilderness. The one thing to say about the Dodgers is that they are a machine. But not just any type of big market behemoth. They are one that's fully embraced small market analytics and efficiency. An incredibly deadly combination in the baseball landscape. Unlike many other teams, they haven't invested much in long-term payroll or outside star power. Most of their talent has been developed from within. And it's some damn good talent, let me tell you. Corey Seager has been one of the main engines for this club for a few years now. His performance in the NLCS merely solidified that in stone. In case he goes cold, there are far more to back him up, like Cody Bellinger. He hasn't been in MVP form like past seasons, but he is still Cody Bellinger. The Braves series showed that with the bat and glove. Justin Turner is once again clicking at a great rate. AJ Pollock has bounced back into peak form. Max Muncy is still a legitimate power bat. Will Smith has emerged as one of the great catching talents in baseball. His stick is one of the best at the position. The bench is once again loaded with the likes of Kike Hernandez, Jock Peterson, Chris Taylor, Austin Barnes, and Edwin Rios. How do you make this better? Why, by going out and getting another MVP caliber player in Mookie Betts. He was the cornerstone in Boston, and their unwillingness to pay him was their gain. The Dodgers have always spared no expense, and it shows here. Not only trading for him, but paying him a premium salary for the next decade plus. He has returned the favor with a strong bat and outstanding web gems nearly every night. And then there's the pitching. Once again, it's incredibly young and effective. Clayton Kershaw is still here, but he might not be the best pitcher on this roster. I know, sacrilege to say, but it's true. That could go to Walker Buehler, another legitimate ace, dominating opposing hitters at every conceivable angle. It could go to Dustin May, a man who throws triple-digit heat almost effortlessly. The others are just as talented. Tony Gonsolin, who's just another blessing to a team loaded with young pitching. Julio Urias is so talented, yet such an excess good that he's coming out of the bullpen as a lung reliever. The rest of the bullpen, mouth-watering. Rusdar Graterol is electric stuff. Victor Gonzalez emerging as a great option. Dylan Floro, Jake McGee free from Coors Field, Blake Trinan, and yes, Kenley Jansen. He isn't the same pitcher as he was, but he's still effective. With the Dodgers, the World Series isn't a good season. It's an expectation. They know the true goal this time around. To win it. The last few years have been repeated frustrations on top of one another. Maybe this is the year to finally do it. This might be the most talented Dodgers group we've seen out of the past few seasons. Dominating the regular season should be more than enough for that. It's interesting as well as they're going up against Tampa Bay. If you look at it, the Dodgers are merely Tampa Bay, with actual money to spend. Andrew Friedman has been manning the helm here for a while now. Where did he bite his teeth in first? You know it, Tampa Bay. It's the ultimate big market versus small market showdown. The city that wins it gets their second championship in a matter of weeks. Let's hope it's good. I hate to say it, but the Rays honestly look like they were out of gas in the ALCS. They pulled it out, but they seemingly have nothing left. They'll need pitching and defense to pull this one out, but the Dodgers also have those things in spades. Unfortunately for the small markets, it's probably LA's time. Again. The Dodgers get an easy World Series victory, and we deal with more smugness coming out of that city. They're already intoxicated from the Lakers. It's the last thing we needed.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think Mike Rizzo, Dave Martinez, you want to lift this thing up?